So today we're going to be talking about how you can start to organize the atoms in your workspace by using tags. Now, if you're completely new to Protolyst, I'd recommend jumping back to the beginner's tutorial, which will give you an intro on atoms and pages and adding info into your workspace. So picking up where we left off, we had a table of sources that we had added into Protolyst, some of which we had captured some atoms from. And we organize into tables because of that atoms property, which means that you can see all of those atoms that you've collected without needing to have the page open. So at the moment, following this setup, you've got your atoms accessible and viewable next to the source of those atoms. But it's pretty likely that you're probably going to want to take an atom from source 1 and pull it together with an atom from source 2 and source 5 because they're all related in some way. And so you can add tags to pull them together based on that relationship. And tags add links or connections between your atoms and other pages in your workspace so that you can start to view them in other pages. So if I open up one of the atoms in this table, we'll get the atom itself, which we can click in the box and edit. And then above it, we have what's called the linking bar. And this is where you will add your tags. And there's one already created. This is the source tag. So it's automatically created whenever you capture your atom, and it links the atom you've created back to the source. So if you click on that one, it opens up the source back at the location of your atom inside that source. And this atom actually also has another tag, summary. And this is from the previous workflow where we dragged and dropped the atom from this table into another page, the summary page. And wherever you do that, that will automatically add a tag so that wherever you view your atom, you can see everywhere else it's been used. So if I click on that, it will open up that page where the atom has been used. Now these are automatically generated. So the source tag is indicated by this circled up arrow, and the downward arrow indicates that the atom has been used or embedded into the page. So you can start to get a little bit of information from these symbols next to your tags. So those are the automatic tags. You can also add your own. Now at the moment we haven't set up any dedicated tags, but in Protolyst you can tag your atom to any other page in your workspace. But really the benefit of using tags is that you can be quite selective in which atoms will display together in a group. So version 1 is when you have a project and you kind of already know the categories or topics or themes that you're going to want to be collecting your atoms around. So for general visibility of all the tags that you're using and organization of them within your workspace, I'd really recommend using a table for all of your tags. So I'm going to close split screen and add a new table into the workspace. So there's two main reasons that I use a tags table. The first one is that it means that whenever I have that tags table open, I can see a list of all of the tags that I'm using across my workspace or project. And that means that I'm not going to create duplicates, and I don't have to rely on my memory to remember all of the tags that I've got in circulation. So keeping all of the pages that I add that I want to use as tags in this one table helps me to distinguish them from other pages in the workspace. So for the information in this workspace, I'm using studies, forgetting, and review techniques. And again, we're not making use of the subpages property, so I'm going to delete that one. So I've got my list of tags as well as an atoms property. And then I'm going to make use of split screen so that as I'm working through a source, I know what categories I have available to collect my atoms around. So let's open up the sources table in split screen. That's control click to open up a page side by side. But let's jump back into one of these sources, and as we're going through and collecting more atoms, we can start adding tags, because we've got a list here of the ones that we know that we're using. So this piece of information here, I'm going to highlight the text and hit capture atom. And then in the atom box, I can click and I can scroll through to my tags table here, and I've got a list of all the tags underneath. Or I can refer to this list and be like, okay, right, yeah, this is a studies one, and then I can add that tag. And as I added that tag, the atom is displaying here in this studies atoms column. And if I jump back to the sources, that atom I just collected is also displaying here. So we've got the same atom displaying in multiple places. So if I jump back into another source, I can open it up, browse through, highlight the text, click capture atom, can start typing review, select that option. And one last one to highlight some other things, capture the atom. As you click into this box, your recently used tags appear at the top, so you can use that to add your tags as well. And you can also add multiple tags, so add as many tags as you want based on the list in your tags table. And if you didn't want to use split screen, let's close this table. As you're capturing an atom, you can simply type tags into the search bar, and it will display the tags table and all of the pages inside that table, which are your tags. So you'll get a list of all your tags available here every time if you don't want to have it open in split screen. So I have a tagging tip for quick tagging. So let me just show you that. So if we have our source open here and then we open up those tags in split screen, you can highlight your text that you want to capture as an atom and then ignore the capture atom button and drag and drop the text into the atoms property for whichever tag you want to add. So if I add it into review techniques here, that atom box has just appeared, which on creating the atom in your workspace has added in that relationship that we have just made by dropping it into this specific atom box for this page. So that tag has already been added. So using this method, you can capture an atom and add a tag all at once. So it's fewer clicks, but any and all of the methods I've just gone through are good, whatever works for you. Okay, so I've captured a few more atoms there and added some tags. Let's jump back into the tags table and take another look at our atoms. So in this review techniques row, we've got a collection of atoms, and when you're viewing atoms like this, the tags display across the bottom. So we can see the source tag and the other tags that this atom has. So as we scroll through this list, we've got atoms from several sources collated here. And so if you want a bit more real estate to browse that list of atoms, you can open it up in full screen by using this button here. And so using tags allows you to collate that information from multiple different sources all together. So you don't have to be jumping around between lots of different sources or tabs. And over time, as you add in more sources and collect more information, you'll build up a bank of all those atoms. So all of the info that you've ever come across that is relevant will be ready and waiting for you here. And to get back to your table, you can close this view. And then the last thing to mention is adding tags as you're working through your project and you realize that you want to add another one into your tags table. So let's jump back into a source. So as you're working through and you come across that piece of information and you go to capture that atom, you look at your tag selection and realize that actually it doesn't really fall into this. I want to add a new category. You can type out the name of that category. Caused controversy because the sample size of this study was 1, and then we'll be given this option, add controversy as new page. So select this and then it will come up with the option for you to choose the location for your new page. And this page is going to be a tag, so we want to add it into the tags table. So if we scroll through the list here until we find the tags table, we can then select that and choose add page. And the tag has been added to the atom. And if we jump into the tags page, a new row has been added called controversy, and that atom is displaying that. And so that's the fundamentals of getting started using tags to start to organize your information into categories and groups and slicing and dicing it from different places and pulling it all together.